Hello, Namaste to all. It's me Dipendra Bahadur Gudha, a second semester student of Nepal Open University, Faculty of Social Sciences and Education. Today, I'm going to present a short video presentation as a part of our internal assignment of the subject Translation Studies. Here me and my colleague Mr. Dan Bahadur Chand have assigned an essay by our respected tutor to make short video presentation. The title of the essay was Concept of Cultural Translation in British Social Anthropology by Professor Talal Asad, in which he discussed two issues of cultural translation. The first issue, inequality of languages, has already been discussed by my colleague Mr. Dan Bahadur Chand, and today I am going to discuss about the second issue, and the topic reading other cultures by Professor Talal Asad. Here, Asad has discussed in the very topic reading other cultures and the role of anthropologists or ethnographers or cultural translator. How the ethnographers read or go through the cultural aspects and how these cultural aspects are translated, or how these cultural aspects are make readable for the target language readers. Here he has discussed some points. Here I am going to discuss about this thing. He says the anthropologist writes about an illiterate population for an largely academic, especially English speaking audience. They encourage a reader for reading the implicit in alien culture. Here Professor Asad says that the role of anthropologist is to get the information or find out information about the illiterate population or the alien culture and change that implicit meaning, implicit, you can say, cultural aspects of alien culture for the academic readers, or you can say the readers of dominant language, for example in the English, German, Spanish, like that order. Here the aim of the ethnographic translator is not to explore the historical situated disputes but the culture. Here ethnographic translator doesn't incorporate with the historical the development of language, but the ethnographic translator only focus on the cultural aspects, means the hidden aspects or the practices, norms and values of the particular culture. For this, the ethnographer has to read the cultural or the target culture or the alien culture and establish implicit meaning that lies beneath, within or beyond the situated speech. Here ethnographer mainly focus on the masses or the encoding the implicit masses. Means he mainly focus on the message conveyed through the cultural aspect practices are more powerful and prominent than the verbal and the written language. That cultural codes, values, norms, practices are the strongest parts of the conveying the message than the spoken language. Further, Professor Asad has made a distinction between anthropologist and the linguist in their role in the matter of the translation. He says an anthropologist observes the range of the cultural practices and creates a discourse, whereas linguists only focus on the explicit discourse created by the anthropologist. This shows the anthropologist creates a contextual ground for the translation and the linguist works on it. Here he says the cultural translation or the cultural translator works somehow like psychoanalyst, and the responsibility of psychoanalyst with his subject and the role of translator with the alien culture is somehow similar. Means the role of the cultural translator is to identify the unconscious meaning that not only lies in the speech of the speaker but somehow hidden the aspect of the language. And the cultural translator identifies these unconscious meaning and make them understandable for the target language readers. The one difference he has made, Talal Asad has made between the role of the responsibility of translator, the translator's task and the psychoanalyst task is that the psychoanalyst somehow impose over his or her subject, but the cultural translator or the anthropological translator doesn't impose upon his or her readership. Here again Asad has raised an issue related to the translation of cultural aspects, some kind of the untranslatability, some hidden the rituals or the practices, norms and values are somehow untranslatable into the any other languages. In that context, in that situation, the cultural translator or the ethnographer tries to find the possible equivalent discourses to inscribe in the target language. And in the last part of the essay, Asad has concluded his essay by saying that in the process of cultural translation, some kind of the power hegemony plays a role in the process of translation. The power may have different kind of forms that can be professional or the national or the international. Means the source language or the alien language, alien culture has regarded as some kind of the weaker culture, and the translated text or the language for the translation or the translated text somehow kind of the dominant position. And he has suggested, the writer has suggested, anthropologist has to explore these processes, these hegemonies or the you can say the power coordination in that may face the challenges, some kind of the problems which might translator face in the process of translation. And the anthropologist has to determine how far they go, defining the possibility of limit of the effective translation. And he summarizes his essay by saying that a cultural translator need to explore the equivalence between both source and target language to maintain the critical distance between the alien culture and the language of readership. Thank you very much. That's all about from my side. Thank you.